did you guys know that, in fact, the pandemic, the big overarching pandemic that everybody's been talking about for nearly 2 years, could be over this year? Well, depending on who you talk to at the WHO, okay, it's either coming to a close, might be able to be done this year, or don't know, wait, oh my god, no, the Omicron's not going to be the final variant of concern. We definitely think that maybe potentially without any information and any sort of evidence to really back up our assertion that there is going to be another variant of concern. There is going to be one, though. I think maybe kind of, yeah, we don't really know, but you let this fucking disheveled old cunt here, Michael Ryan, whatever, doctor, don't want to discredit him, of course. He says that it could be over this year if vaccines and treatments are addressed. Yeah, because you take a look at caseloads and all that stuff and the different numbers of vaccinated people around the world, and then you start to realize that even if everybody who is unvaccinated is walking around with a case of the coof, the numbers really don't add up. But hey, whatever, okay? They want to continue to push that stuff. It looks like that rhetoric is falling on deafer and deafer ears, if that's even the proper use of the term. But whatever, let's see what he has to say, sort of, kind of, before everything just starts to dovetail up into being just really great news, because there's no downside to this video. Like, this is just going to be a celebratory event, okay? The worst of the COVID pandemic could be over this year if issues... the worst of the pandemic could be over this year? What? Oh my god. As the World Health Organization official said Tuesday, okay, only if vaccine and treatments are quickly addressed, okay? Well, there's one treatment, it starts not with an H, not with a J, somewhere in the middle there. I don't know, maybe if we can split the difference on that one. If you guys would just address that one, a lot of concerns would be out of the way. Okay, speaking during a panel discussion on vaccines hosted by the World Economic Forum, the WHO and the World Economic Forum, trying to continue to stoke concerns and continue to fucking fearmonger. Color me shocked. Wow, the people who also, you know what, when they aren't talking about how they need more control in the world and how they need to really push the Great Reset, they're talking about how most of the pandemic concerns could be over this year if you guys just follow what we have to say. I'm just going to take a flyer on what you guys are talking about because I want to at least know what you're talking about, but really, am I going to take anything that you're saying seriously? Go fuck yourself. But those officials noted that while the virus may ultimately never go away, we've known for a long time, you don't have to fucking keep repeating it. We fucking know. Just acknowledge that we've been right this entire time. That would be nice. I don't need it. I just need everybody to just, take down those stupid fucking signs in their windows. Everybody to just take off their mask, and everybody to stop forcing unwanted medical procedures on everybody, and we'll be copacetic. You got it? Good, since we're understood. The worst of the pandemic, such as deaths, hospitalizations, and lockdowns, could be over this year, so long as issues around the distribution of vaccines and treatment are addressed soon. WHO Health Emergencies Program Executive Director Dr. Michael Ryan. That's a basic bitch name if I've ever seen one before, as somebody with a significant amount of Irish and Scottish ancestry. Who's the other executive director? John Smith said, "We may never end the virus." Yeah, it's a virus. It's going to continue out there. It's almost like it should be in a classification with other viruses that are just endemic and never go away. Oh, wait. Okay, because such pandemic viruses end up becoming part of the ecosystem. No shit. Then why are you trying to just end it? Why do you have these zero COVID policies that you say don't work one day, and then the next day you just lock down harder? Okay, you start installing different restrictions even harder than before. So that's what the World Economic Forum, bunch of commie bastards, even worse than that, really, if we take a look deeper into that. And the WHO, I could describe them, but I don't need to be redundant. That's what they're talking about. But then you got, I think I pulled this up before this week, sorry. You got Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla out there talking about, we could see a return to normal by spring, but expects COVID to circulate for years. So, okay, you have somebody who stands to gain a lot of financial wealth, a lot of increased influence in society, if this continues to go on. But even he sees that the gravy train is starting to come off the tracks like it's in Los Angeles. But Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla told French news outlet, okay, hopefully that, I guess he thought that translations would take a while for everything to come out, but he expects COVID to continue to circulate for many years. Yeah, it's just going to happen, but it's going to continue to get less and less severe, because that's the way that these things just fucking circulate, and that's how these things mutate over time, okay? Start out bad, which, if we ever get straight data on this stuff, I don't know if we can ever fucking figure it out for sure or not, but yeah, let's just take it, okay? The hypothetical virus, okay? Starts out really bad, and then it just starts to get more transmissible because it wants to perpetuate itself. It wants to be like every other living organism. It just wants to replicate into the future. It just wants to extend the life of its theoretical species, okay? And therefore, if it needs to shed some symptoms or some characteristics, it'll do that in order to continue into the future. That's what we're seeing here. That's what we've seen the entire time, okay? Because even remember when Delta was first getting fucking gassed up at the time? Oh, it's more transmissible. What are the new symptoms? It's more transmissible. Okay, cool. I see what you're up against, and I see what you're talking about. But yeah, no more proselytizing. Let's get to what Borla had to say here. He told the French news outlet Le Figaro in an interview published January 16th that he expected to return to normal life at some point in the spring of this year. Is he talking about himself, or is he talking about society at large? Maybe, I don't know. With the caveat that the dynamics of coof coof mutations, and spread cloud the accuracy of any predictions, okay? He's like, yeah, at least the last time that I talked to everybody, they were like, yeah, we can probably give up the jam, I don't know, maybe around Easter or something, but not Easter, because Trump a couple of years ago, he said that this would be gone by Easter, so we'll probably just go ahead and extend it maybe a little longer, okay? Maybe we'll try to make it to Memorial Day, but yeah, it's really starting to peel off before then. But before we get to that, Pfizer chief credited developments in COVID testing, vaccines, therapeutics, and everything else that's brought to you by Pfizer, and has a little stamp on the side for his optimistic outlook, telling BMF TV in a separate interview that he expects the current Omicron-driven wave to be the last with so many restrictions. Well, here's hoping so. And it looks like Boris Johnson, okay? He looks like he heard that, okay? And this is real. This, thank fucking God. Oh my God. One of the first major countries, okay, because there was a bunch of Scandinavian countries that lifted all of their restrictions and just decided to go back to life. But this is the first major country that's out there that just decided to go, yep, it's time to just flick on the lights. We'll just go back to normal. It looks like everything's all fucking done and dusted. And I'm not expressing it, but I have unimaginable joy within my body because it's all finally fucking over. It's just weird how it coincides with the fact that Boris Johnson might have been fighting a little bit of backlash from within his party, but we'll get to that. But first, it's time to celebrate. England ends all COVID passports, mask mandates, and work restrictions. It's back to normal, guys. When's that effective? Fucking immediately. Restrictions included coof passes, vaccine passes, mask mandates, and work from home guidance will be removed in England. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced in a press conference Wednesday. Joe Biden held a press conference today, or he is currently right now, well, at the time of recording, but by the time that this is all published, it's all done and dusted, and maybe we'll talk about that nonsense tomorrow. But I just peered in for a minute, and I just wanted to see, maybe he's seen what Boris Johnson was doing, and he was going to start lifting stuff, but no, that's not the case. It was just a year in review. I've been president now for an entire year. Everything sucked, but really, I'm going to tell you why it was great. Or just somebody who wrote this speech that I'm going to stutter through and try not to die before the end of. It was something like that. It's like, oh, we're going to be handing out a whole bunch of new masks that people, you know what, choose your own fucking destiny in life. If you want to wear them, no, go for it. And if you don't, don't. That chose a long time ago. I'm not playing around with this fucking theater, but if you want to do it, go for it. I don't give a fuck. And that all you need to do is just log online. But a couple of weeks ago, when I was talking about Hispanics, they don't really know how. The people don't know how to get online. But now, if you can figure out this very complicated ordeal, or you could get online, you can get your free tests. It's like, okay, do you got all this stockpile and you don't want it to fucking go to waste and you just want to empty it all out so that you don't look like you're just holding the bag again, a la Afghanistan? But whatever, okay, You want to do all that stuff. You want to just fucking drag this out for as long as humanly possible, whereas the rest of the world, okay, and we'll see what happens with Europe, okay, because it might be a little bit slower, okay, they might be just a hair slower on this one, but really looks like the jig's up. Finally, fucking finally. Oh yeah, but just bookend the Biden thing, because I watched just I think the first question just to see if they were going to press him on anything. Basically, the gist of that was, okay, everything in your first year as presidency has blown up spectacularly. So what was the question that they asked him? Did you set your expectations too high of what you could accomplish in the first year? That's why he does so many press conferences, right? Anyways, back to the good news. Boris Johnson also suggested that self-isolation rules may also be thrown out at the end of March as the coof pandemic becomes endemic. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if they're running with the shortened CDC-esque guidelines where it's like, okay, 10 days is a little bit too long. Okay, you can probably get away with 5. The 3 days before you start to manifest symptoms, and then the 2 days after it's all said and done. You're probably good after that, and you can just go back to work. And it's like, okay, listen, okay, people aren't being receptive to the stay-at-home, live in the pod, eat the bugs lifestyle that the World Economic Forum is trying to push. Okay, you will own nothing and be happy. That's their slogan. People aren't as receptive as we thought that they would be, but I guess better luck next time. But yeah, here's the good stuff. Effective immediately, the UK government is no longer asking people to work from home. COVID pass mandate for nightclubs and large events won't be renewed when it expires January 26th. So this time, next week, okay, so I guess you got one more weekend to stay at home, but after that one, yeah, no more vax passes. Fucking A right. Still, I want all these people held accountable for their sins, but as of right now, this is great news. And from Thursday, indoor mask wearing will no longer be compulsory anywhere in England. Yay! That's awesome. So, effective immediately. I guess by the time that it's posted, it would be it would technically be Thursday in the United Kingdom. So, good stuff, good stuff. The requirement for secondary school pupils to wear masks during class and in communal areas will also be removed by the Department of Education's national guidance. Roaring cheers from lawmakers could be heard in the House of Commons following Johnson's announcements on masks. They should have just thrown them all up like it was fucking graduation day. But then again, that's asking too much. People who test positive for the coof and their unvaccinated contacts are still required to self-isolate, but Johnson said he very much expects not to renew the rule when relevant regulations expire on March 24th. As COVID becomes endemic, we will need to replace legal requirements with advice and guidance, urging people with the virus to be careful and considerate of others. Yeah, as you would do with every other sickness, okay? I remember back in the day, before the dark times, okay? If you were feeling a little bit ill, I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't spitting on people. I wasn't running up to them and licking any exposed skin like some kind of a fucking creep. I wasn't doing any of that type of stuff. Like, I considered that careful and considerate. Like, if I was feeling exceptionally bad, I would maybe take it easy. Okay, I never called in sick because I'm not a bitch. But still, if you weren't feeling up to snuff, you would sit it out. Like, it's almost like that again, okay? Because there's a lot of people still that are testing positive for the coof, but feel great. They feel fine. It's almost like you can carry around a virus and you can spread it without ever being infected yourself or without ever manifesting symptoms. It's almost like that happens all the fucking time because you can be tested for different antibodies that are in your body, and guess what? You have them and you don't even know that you were infected by anything. It's almost like that's been documented science for literal fucking decades. But then we threw out all of that rule book and then we had to rewrite all of it because my pandemic can't end until it does. So big ups to the UK, but what spurred this on? Okay, because it wasn't that long ago where they were canceling Christmas. Oh no, we can't have Christmas, and oh no, here come vaccine passports. It's really tough and it's really bad. And oh yes, we need to take this very, very seriously. And it was, I think, at like the beginning of December, all of this stuff came down. It just went on from being okay. Oh, we might be able to weather this storm to all of a sudden lock everything down and close down the pubs. And but I didn't want to have to bring in the vaccine passport, but we're going going to have to do this. And so what spurred on this very welcome, okay, very, very welcome change, okay? Well, this one's been chilling on the back burner. Maybe you, maybe some of my friends over there in the UK, okay, because I think you're like the third highest demographic of people that check out the content. Maybe you guys have been aware of this as well, but Boris Johnson has been on the hot seat by his own MPs, okay, and they've been looking to try to get him out. But this is going to be a big win in the polls for him, because the Labour voters that weren't going to ever vote for him, okay, they're already pissed off at him. And this is the only people who are going to be pissed off by this. And those are the people that just want to control everybody's life. But your party's a fucking disaster, okay? And the only other bigger disaster is the Conservative Party. But this could be a rallying cry. This could be a unifying moment. But let's see what kind of, potentially, okay? All you have to do is just read between the very, very large lines here and figure out what spurred on this return to normalcy, as it were. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is facing a severe threat to his leadership. And as you can, you might be able to see this. Actually, you probably can. This was posted just a couple of hours before he made his declaration that, yeah, everything is just coming back online. Boris Johnson is facing a severe threat to his leadership as a number of Conservative MPs have begun plotting his ouster. It is claimed. Reports claim, okay? But this has been gestating for a while now, okay? Okay, Prime Minister Boris Johnson's leadership is now under threat as a number of MPs from the Premier's Conservative Party plot an overthrow. This is shit that you would never hear from a guy who has like a 300-seat fucking majority, for Christ's sakes. He has a super duper majority, if I can use the technical terms on this one. How did he lose so much fucking ground? Well, he started to capitulate to the talking points of the Labour Party. The fucking point blank, plain and simple, okay? It was just like Andrew Cuomo, okay? Should have got him on the nursing home deaths, but instead you tried to get him on something a little bit more salacious, and that's what they're trying to do here, okay? Instead of hitting him on the restrictive lockdowns, you're gonna hit him on throwing a Christmas party in 2020. Yeah, so fucking stupid. Ever since news of the number of allegedly lockdown breaking gatherings emerged in the press, Johnson has since been increasingly desperately working to recover his party's popularity as well as his own. Why do you think that statement came out today? Deploying so-called Operation Red Meat policies to win back wavering voters. Interesting. However, another food-based term has entered British politics in recent days. The pork pie push. I get it. The term is coined after a number of Conservative MPs met to discuss the PM's future on Tuesday, with the Telegraph describing the fucking Telegraph. Really, you're going to be taking serious reporting from the MSNBC equivalent across the pond? Really, motherfucker. Anyways, describing the etymology of the term is based on the meeting's host, Alicia Kearns, being the MP of a region associated with pork pies. It seems slightly bigoted, but whatever. Those who gathered at the meeting have reportedly told the publication that they had discussed writing letters of no confidence in the Prime Minister. That's weird. With 54 letters in total from the body of 360 Tory members in Parliament being required to spark a confidence vote. System of calling leadership challenges in the Conservative Party works from a system of letters being handed to the chairman of the parliamentary group's backbench leader, who then deposits them in a safe. This is so fucking antiquated, but this is the parliamentary system. Unless they chose to reveal themselves, the identities of the letters and the number of writers waiting are known only to the chairman until the threshold number is reached and a vote is triggered. Given the inherent mystery, estimates and claims of the number of letters varies wildly. I guess this is written incredibly poorly. According to the Conservative Party whips, the number of no confidence letters already submitted is in the 20s. Very close to the 360 member threshold. It's just mounting by the day. Others have put an estimate as being much higher. Andrew Brigden, MP, told Great Britain News, GB News, that for those who are not in the know, it's kind of a right-wing Fox News. It's kind of like the equivalent. It's a news station, by the way, I guess kind of like an OAN Newsmax equivalent. They're more based than Fox News by every conceivable metric, and they're being pilloried and painted with the same brush. So that's what they are. So in case you don't know. that he believed around 34 letters have already been submitted and that the 54 letter threshold will be met on Wednesday. Oh, so wait, what? So they just needed 54 letters from the 360 members? Oh, okay, cool. It's going to happen, Brigden said. I think this will push the 54 required to trigger a confidence motion vote. So, okay, we can continue to run through on this one, but of course I'll link to this if you'd like to look at it a little longer. But what does that tell you? Really does seem to me like Boris Johnson sees the writing on the wall and then just decided there is one thing I can do to immediately change course on my prime ministership. Give the people what they want. Well, it's a bold move. It's a incredibly welcomed move if we're being very serious on this. But you can see the motivation there. But you see somebody else who is a leader of a considerable nation, okay, with a lot of world sway, okay, somebody else who has a floundering leader up at the top and then just wonders, what the fuck can I do in order to spark my subterranean approval rating? Well, maybe follow the lead of some of their big pharma overlords and just say, yeah, probably by the spring it's about time to wrap this shit up. But we'll see. We'll fucking see, I guess. But big ups to my friends over there in the UK. You guys are going to be going back to normal, and it looks like everything's going to be all done and dusted by next week. I'm a little bit jealous, but hey, congratulations. That is big news. With that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. Watch you follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.